Welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into reparenting, exploring tools and resources to help us through our journey. The podcast is divided into 3 sections. First is a reading. Second is a discussion of the reading, followed by a journal prompt. And the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. Thanks for being here for another day of reparenting. Today's reading is coming from the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And today we're reading from the section Keys to Power. Burning more brightly than those around you is a skill that no one is born with. You have to learn to attract attention, as surely as the loathsome attracts iron. At the start of your career, you must attach your name and reputation to a quality, an image, that sets you apart from other people. This image can be something like a characteristic style of dress, or a personality quirk that amuses people and gets talked about. Once the image is established, you have an appearance, a place in the sky for your star. It is a common mistake to imagine that the peculiar image of yours should not be controversial, that to be attacked is somehow bad. Nothing could be further from the truth. To avoid being a flash in the pan and having your notoriety eclipsed by another, you must not discriminate between the types of attention. In the end, every kind will work in your favor. Barnum, we have seen, welcomed personal attacks and felt no need to defend himself. He deliberately courted the image of being a humbug. The court of Louis XIV contained many talented writers, artists, great beauties, and men and women of impeccable virtue. But no one was more talked about than the singular Duke of D'Alençon. The Duke was short, dwarfish, and was prone to the most insolent kinds of behaviors. He slept with the king's mistresses, and openly insulted not only other courtiers but the king himself. Louis, however, was so beguiled by the Duke's eccentricities that he could not bear his absence from the court. It was simple. The strangeness of the Duke's character attracted attention. Once people were enthralled by him, they wanted him around at any cost. Society craves larger-than-life figures, people who stand above general mediocrity. Never be afraid, then, of the qualities that set you apart and draw attention to you. Controversy, even scandal. It is better to be attacked, even slandered, than ignored. All professions are ruled by this law, and all professionals must have a bit of the showman about them. The great scientist Thomas Edison knew that to raise money, he had to remain in the public eye at any cost. Almost as important as the inventions themselves was how he presented them to the public and courted attention. Edison would design visually dazzling experiments to display his discoveries with electricity. He would talk of future inventions that seemed fantastic at the time, robots and machines that could photograph thought. And the thing he had no intention of wasting his energy on, but that made the public talk about him. He did everything he could to make sure that he received more attention than his great rival, Nikola Tesla, who may actually have been more brilliant than he was, but whose name was far less known. If you find yourself in a lowly position that offers little opportunity for you to draw attention, an effective trick is to attack the most visible, most famous, most powerful person you find. When Pietro Aretino, a young Roman servant boy, was of the early 16th century, wanted to get attention of a writer of verses, he decided to publish a series of satirical poems ridiculing the Pope and his affection for a pet elephant. The attack put Armento in the public eye immediately. A slanderous attack on a person of position and power would have a similar effect. Remember, however, to use such tactics sparingly after you have public's attention, when the attack can wear thin. Thank you, and that's the reading for today. Welcome back. Thanks again for being here for another day of reparenting, focusing on power. I guess we can look at this as the fathering aspect, right? So self-fathering today. It's a word that maybe many of us want to avoid or feel uncomfortable around because many of us have a life schema or a life trap that is related to senses of injustice. Some of us become afraid of authority figures or uncomfortable with power, seeking power, those who have power. But if we are reparenting ourselves, we must be honest with ourselves and we must be honest with the reality of the world. We cannot resign to ignore power games because we are, by nature of our existence, participants. We cannot withdraw from power games. We are humans and it is part of the nature of our socialization and our interaction. And in that case, it's better to be aware than to be uninformed, to be naive and to be caught blindsided by narcissistic abusers who can do more than destroy your life, but truly destroy your soul. So this is truly of the utmost importance to be aware of power, how it plays a role in your interactions. And that is why this reading was selected. Some people have concerns and think that this is too Machiavellian. It's not light and love. It's not the optimism and positive healing that we should be looking for. I understand their concern, but again, the point is to gain awareness of how the world actually works, because when you grow up in a dysfunctional family, you can often end up naive without understanding of how these dynamics work, much less alone and education or training or time to practice and reflect with someone older on how to use your own power to protect yourself, to promote yourself, and to achieve your goals. And so today, let's reflect on this reading, The Keys to Power. How aware are you of your own power dynamics? Where do you hold power? In what ways are you able to influence others, influence situations, to obtain your desired end? Is there one domain in your life where you find that easier than others, where you find you have more control, perhaps more success? How do you feel about power? Has your childhood upraising, any religious programming or studies or reading given you a new perspective or changed your insight into power? How comfortable do you feel with the idea of empowering yourself? From a dysfunctional family, often we come with the feeling of disempowerment, often not even knowing we have the right to have power or that there is a such thing as personal power that we should and that we must develop for our own safety. Not only for our own safety, but for our own flourishing. And so that's it for today. As always, thank you for being here. Take care of yourself and be well. And now, let us move on to the final section, the meditation. This is an unguided meditation. I will simply provide some music and you can take some time to relax. Please feel free to choose a location and a place where you feel safe and where you can be undisturbed for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting down, standing, as you like, wherever you are most comfortable. Thank you for being here and enjoy the meditation.